Have you ever been reading a celebrity pastor's blog post or listening to a famous Bible teacher and something jumps out to you and you're just like, how am I the only person seeing this thing? Why isn't anyone talking about it? Well, you're not alone. Welcome to Underdog Theology. This podcast is about looking at what's happening in evangelicalism. I'm talking tweets, I'm talking books, blogs, videos, all of it, and judging it according to Scripture. Whether that's reacting to celebrity pastors, teasing about the latest ridiculous battle in the culture war, or just having a little bit of fun together, this show is for all the folks who feel like they're on the outside looking in, who feel like they don't have a voice, who feel like they're an underdog. Welcome to Underdog Theology. I don't even need my music. I'm my own music. What's up, people? I hope your Monday is going super great. Mine has been chaotic. We've had a lot of stuff. I've been trying to fix things around the house. My in-laws came over this morning. My father-in-law is so freaking handy. He's just helpful as all get out. So he was just like, let's get some stuff done. And I was like, I have an internet show. I have an internet show I need to prepare for. And, we got a lot of stuff done. Not so much of the prep for the show. All right, we're going to play it loose today. We're going to have some fun today. But you know what? You're going to really enjoy something. I've been working on something yesterday in between doing, trailer reactions on our movie channel, my movie channel. Like I was doing a lot of that kind of stuff. But I also was working on another project that we're going to have some fun with later. Some of my buddies know because I sent them to them. Let's see. Yep. We got it. We got John Adams. Finally. He is here, guys. Not just, he's not coming in 30 minutes later. Sure, I started way late. But he's coming in right now and saying hi. We got Jer's here. We've got Shanna Lee is here. I'm shocked by these Aaron Ivey allegations. Oh man. Julie Royce this morning shocked me too. Like that was very shocking. If you've been around the internet for a while and been into podcasts, you probably have heard that name. Maybe you've heard his wife. I think Jamie, is her name. But Aaron Ivey from the Austin Stone. It's a church down there. Matt Carter was their pastor for a long time. I really enjoy Matt Carter's preaching. And so there's some stuff going on, some serious allegations being made down there. So yeah, very shocking morning as far as that stuff goes. But we're not going to be talking about it too much today. We're going to be talking instead about the Super Bowl because it's fun and also because everyone is losing their minds. All right. There's tweets out there. Tom Buck, I saw go at, he gets us. And just, this worldly organization, that's out there. And they're putting out these videos and we're going to watch the videos. All right. We're going to watch the Super Bowl commercials. Something that I wasn't able to do yesterday. One, because again, trailer reactions, but also because I live in Canada and we don't get Super Bowl commercials. We get, the same commercials we always get because TSN is just like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to give you all the funny commercials. They have like big star actors. We're not going to show you that stuff. We know you want it. We know you'll go to YouTube and like the next day and watch all of them, which I'm going to do later when I get some time. But we're going to be looking at the He Gets Us two videos that they put out in the Super Bowl yesterday and talking about it because there are a lot of people who are upset about it. And to be honest, I like poking the bear a little bit. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun with it. But first, let's say hi to some people who are here in the chat. And as I do it every week, you go up and you can kind of see it right here. There's only 12 likes. We've got 42 people watching live and we've got 12 likes. Like who is it Mark Driscoll's entire family that is just watching this right now? And they just don't want to hit the like button. Is that what's going on? Guys, help me out. Hit the like button. It helps a whole lot as I take a sip of water. No reason. no reason for my cup today. We'll just put this right here. We'll put it where you can kind of see it, kind of can't. We'll just make a few people a little angry today. All right, let's go all the way to the top and say hi to some people. So we got Wendy. She's here. She says, hey, dogs. Hey, Heidi and Aaron. Aaron and Heidi always here, holding hands, watching the stream together. Valentine's Day is coming up, and I'm assuming that they want me to do a stream so they could hold hands and watch the TV screen together. Again, that's not how they watch it. Dean is late today. He said he was finishing up. Here's the deal. Again, I was doing house stuff. I was doing man stuff, and I couldn't go down and get everything ready as soon as I wanted to. I have to do a lot of buttons here with the Stream Deck to do some of the things I want to do later. There's a lot of talk about Usher, which, cool. Some of you guys, John really wanted a shirtless picture of Usher for a little bit. He said he was going to share it with people, share the stream with people if I did that. So you know what? I'm not above it. Okay, I'll do that. I'll show that. All right, there's nothing wrong with that. He was working really hard. Okay. Some people might get upset about that. I'm gonna get people talking about the skulls, and then I'm gonna have people if I don't take down that timer quickly, which I probably will this time. This will be the one time that I actually do it on time. But they'll be like, "How dare you show that? That's so sinful." You see it every time you go to the pool, people. All right. Wendy says, oh, I missed something since I didn't watch the Super Bowl, right? I mean, not really. We'll take a look at it. Did people see what Tom Buck did in his research about He Gets Us? Sure, that guy researches everything except for his own allegations. Heidi says, my real world was really small and really fundy. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't even realize half of that if I didn't have social media. Twitter is a large scale of representation of what these tiny echoes. Yeah. Michael S. is here. What's up, Michael? He Gets Us, the campaign that did a ton of research that said people don't mind Jesus. They just don't mind. They don't seem to like Christians. I mean, I think there's some truth to that. We'll talk about it. Ty and Juliet are here. I'm a newbie instant fan. What? Yes, we got to play it. I appreciate it. What time does a live streaming typically start? Late. That's the time that it usually starts. I'm a Pacific Northwest time zone. Oh, man. I got to show it. I got some love for the Pacific Northwest. But usually we start at 12:30 CST, I believe. I'm in Canada. I'm in Saskatchewan. So time doesn't change. Everyone else changes, but we don't. Time may change me. All right, moving on. Let's see. There's a lot of talk about Usher. Burlington. You're from Burlington? Oh, my goodness. The coat factory? No. So true, Heidi. I wasn't even interacting, but posted a video, but commented on it. They're a scary bunch. Yeah, the Moscow fans, the fanboys, they're pretty intense. Jeremy says the connected him with the church, and he said that was proof that it was all bad. Oh yeah, there's some stuff. We'll talk about that too. Oh man, you guys are jumping way ahead of me, like normal. I'm always behind. Let's see. Steven's here and says, otherwise we get the what's wrong with you people. Oh, you want it? You can have it.
What's wrong with you people?
Let's see. Caveat Ties is here. What's up? Hope you're doing well. I didn't need to click on it. Shelly is here. Some talk about Stephen Wolf blocking people. I got blocked by Joel Webbin on the Underdog Theology thing this weekend. That was kind of funny because I literally just retweeted one of his tweets and said, Joel Webbin, everybody. And that was enough for me to be like, here's his tweet. Blocked. All right. Let's see. Wendy says, Dean had a skull in his intro. I am out of here. He is a daggum heretic. Oh, snap. The allegations are flying. Mule Rider is here. What's up, man? Something interesting, he says. Probably an interview with AI Mark Driscoll. I don't know if that's in reference, but what's up? Tommy, my man, is here. Been a minute, but I'm here. Tried to catch last week from Kenya, but jumped on about an hour late, but I'm here. No worries. You're doing actually important stuff. Tommy was over in Kenya preaching the good news. Just looked like it was a killer time, too. Looked like you were having a blast. I saw some pictures on Twitter. Jeremy says he doesn't get you in Canada. God doesn't get you in Canada? Says a Calvinist. Okay. Steven says, I warned them, Dean. I did honest hit the likes, right? Heidi says, Dean, Aaron, and I are sitting next to each other today, but not holding hands. They're having a fight. Pray for the goings, everybody. Mike is here and says, Canada has all three A sounds in its name. Canada? What? Canada? Is that what you mean? Like a hard A sound? What? Wendy, he's from California. He doesn't know. When he poked the bear of the chosen, he is still paying for it. Am I, though? I just kind of ignore it and giggle sometimes. Evan says, I'm one of the 12, Dean. What? I am one of the 12, Dean. I'm usually here, but don't comment, like Peter's brother, Andrew. Nice. Of the people that I get you. I thought you were like, we got a straight up apostle up in her. All right. Jeremy says, go read John 13. I'm streaming right now. I can't do that right now. Dang, Jer, a little demanding. Wendy, I can't like and live chat. I am old, sick, and blindish. Need some grace, peeps. Need some grace. You always have some grace here, Wendy. Everyone else, not a chance. Gotta hit the like button. I don't care. Wendy's the only one who gets an out. Taylor Swift Cup, shirtless Usher, and Skulls. When will the fourth horseman of the apocalypse make its appearance? Let me know in the chat what you think the fourth person, the fourth horseman is. If we got, all right, so we got Taylor Swift Cup, and then we got shirtless Usher and Skulls. So what's the fourth one? Is it the bourbon? All right, we're gonna move on. I keep on chatting. We'll come back to it. Let's take a look at this thing, because I had some tweets that, well, you know what, I can probably show it. Let's bring it up. It's been a busy morning, but I did take a little thing here. I think I could get this working pretty fast. Let's put this over here. And we can bring it over. Yes, here we go. All right, so this is what Tom Buck, if you don't know who he is a guy that talks a lot about how everyone in the world is wrong but him, and the denomination that I think was a part of. I think they left the SBC, which the SBC has a lot of ties to He Gets Us. So this is what Tom Buck put up. At He Gets Us, he put the period before because he wants to go right at him. He Gets Us spent $1 billion creating a social justice Jesus who is soft on LGBT and abortion issues to get the world to like him. Note that pagans do like the Jesus of the campaign, but even they know that biblical Christianity isn't compatible with the He Gets Us Jesus. So he's not the only one who's saying this. This is representative of a bunch of different tweets that I saw, mostly of the guys that we're usually talking about, okay? You not like maybe your typical everyday Christian, but there are lots of these influencers and really conservative pastors and theologians, or attempting to be theologians on Twitter. They decided that they wanted to go at He Gets Us because it seems like every Super Bowl we have to be outraged about something and be like, can Christians, watch the Super Bowl? And there's so many Christians who are like, we can't even watch the halftime show. We can't watch the commercials. We can't watch whatever. And then now we have one commercial that is about Jesus, but apparently that's not good enough. And you can kind of tell a little bit of where I'm going with this. Now, last year, we talked a little bit about He Gets Us. And so if you go onto the playlist of Underdogs Unite, there's an episode where we went into detail about this. And basically, I was like, I like the idea. I like the idea of getting Jesus's name out there and representing Christ to a world that needs him. But I was a little like, I don't know about like the financial cost of this thing and whether it's worth it or not. Now, he said, like Tom Buck said in this tweet, they spent $1 billion. I think that's overall, like the money that they raised to try and do this. It doesn't cost you $1 billion for a Super Bowl commercial. That's a lot of money. Like, it does cost you millions, okay? But we're not talking about like 100 million for a Super Bowl commercial. It's less than that. But whatever. I think overall they've been spending tons of money because it's not just the Super Bowl. They're putting commercials on in some markets frequently, not up here in Canada because, Canadians don't need Jesus, apparently. He doesn't got us up here. But like billboards and, Times Square, there's tons of stuff for He Gets Us going on around there. So they spent a lot of money. And so that's been my main reservations with this thing is basically just, is it worth all the money that people have invested? Now, this week, there's been some talk about how Hobby Lobby is one of like the main donors, and they're people that love Hobby Lobby and there are people that hate Hobby Lobby, and it's always a thing. It's always a thing. Everything is always a thing. You can get that. You can quote me on that one. Everything is always a thing. But it's just, adding to the conversation, whether Hobby Lobby should be involved with this kind of thing and whether it's right and whether we should never get chicken sandwiches ever again. Or no, wait, that's the other one. That's the other one that we're always mad about. You want, maybe, I don't know, like, you want that scripture verse of Joshua, as for me and my house, like you want that printed on the wall. Maybe you shouldn't get that from Hobby Lobby. That's basically all they have. I'm assuming that and American flags. Okay, I'm going to get myself into trouble. Let's take a look at why people are so mad about this thing. All right, let's just watch, and then we'll watch it again, and maybe a third time. No, we won't. But let's just see what everyone is so worked up about. Okay. Don't ask me. Am I going to get a copyright there? Maybe. Don't have to tell you. I'll tell you one thing, this is a jam. I love your precious heart. I was standing. You were there, two worlds collided. All right, I think you get the music choice, so we're just going to watch it on mute before everything in my life crashes because YouTube's like, no music. All right, Jesus didn't teach hate. He washed feet. He gets us, all of us, Jesus. All right. Now, as Wayfair's like, are you done? Let's tell you everything. But that's it. That's the whole thing. All right. That's why it's such a talking point. Now, for me, when I watched this the first time, I was completely like, how can you get mad at this? Like, there are lots of things that happen in this life that you can react to and just be ticked about and just jump the gun. And I'm watching this and I'm going like, why is anyone ticked about this? Like, what's wrong with this? Now, as you go through some of these images, like you got like younger and older. All right. We've got, a position of authority. I'm sure like there's some, Black Lives Matter kind of stuff going on with this picture here. Kids and, it's a red-haired lady. So that means a feminist probably. I don't know. You got, different people. I think probably what gets people are, some of these images, like maybe, this is obviously someone who is an alcoholic. You can see the bottles all over the place. Maybe some drugs mixed in with that. Like, I don't know if people are just mad because there's different shades of people, which is just like kind of nuts. But whatever. I saw some stuff talking about, this is like some subtle thing trying to make sure that you could be okay with immigration. And this person is obviously an illegal immigrant. I like it. It's laughable in some ways, but also like there are people who are talking about this. Like this is a real thing that people are like really actually ticked about, and it's just kind of shocking that anyone would be so mad. Now, here's one again, like maybe like a protest, and in the midst of this protest, you have someone washing someone's feet. Let's see. Can we even make out what some of the signs are? Shut him up. All right. Something hate. That sign that's on the ground right next to that lady who's getting her feet washed. I'm not sure. Older people, again, different shades of colors. Oh my goodness. And this is probably the one, right? Because this guy, the way he's sitting, the fact that there are roller skates obviously means that this guy is gay. And the washing of the feet then means that this, is that a Lutheran? He looks like a Lutheran. That he obviously is fine with it. That's the inference. Now, we do live in a shady world where everything has to be overt in order to communicate a clear message. All right. There are so many people that do act in a way that it's just like they're trying not to show any of their cards about any of their theology because they know if they do, people will get upset. And so they're, pretty cowardly about what they actually think. But what is the message here? What is actually trying to be communicated? Is it that, all right, well, everyone sins? Is it the full gospel? Like, I don't think that's the clear message because we're not getting a whole lot. Or is it more of the fact that Christians, in the midst of where anyone is at, should be people that are kind and compassionate? I think that's probably the message, right? Like the washing of the feet isn't so much to be like, oh, you're clean. I don't see this as approval. I know that some people will, but I think that's probably more about your bias, right? Like in a way, I'm not saying like this commercial is great. All right. I'm not saying like this is like high class art, but in a way it is art in that these are just images and it's displaying a thing and people are then interpreting it through their filters, right? And so if you look at something, it's like, have you guys ever been to therapy? I know it's super sinful if you ask John MacArthur, but maybe you've seen like a picture or like maybe a video. You've seen a movie of people and they show up. I forget what it's called. Someone's going to let me know in the chat. But that picture, like it's like an oil painting of some kind, and it like could be a butterfly. It could be a guy lighting a house on fire. I don't know. It's just based off of like who the person is who's looking at it and how they're going to interpret that picture. That's kind of what I'm getting out of this. It's just, if you are thinking that that's what they're trying to communicate, that's probably just what you're going to assume is being communicated here. But for me, as I'm looking at this thing, and again, I'm not a fan of He Gets Us. I've been critical. I think it's a waste of money to be spending millions of dollars on a Super Bowl ad that really doesn't say a whole lot. All right. Like even like I'll get to what I think the message is here in a minute. But like, I think that there are tons of Rorschach ink blot tests. Thank you, Mule Rider. I knew someone was going to come in and be like, I know words. I don't. I really don't. But I think that, as we're looking at this thing, it's basically just up to you of how you're going to interpret it. And so when I'm looking at this thing, even though I disagree with the methods, right? Like I think it's a waste, like millions of dollars on this ad that really, I don't think any non-saved person is going to be like, oh, I'll choose Jesus now. Or even if your target audience, which I think is probably more of the point, is at Christians, a lot of Christians are mad about this and they're reading in different things. So I don't think it was really all that well done. But as I'm looking at it, I definitely don't think it's what people are making it out to be, which is like this affirming thing, like just, Christians are just fine with however you want to live. And we're just here to meet you where you're at. No, I don't see that. I mean, as I'm looking at this, especially like if this was the only image and it was just left on its own, I'd be like, maybe. But I mean, you're just like looking through, we'll just hit play again. You just got different kinds of people. And every time there's supposedly this Christian acting like Jesus and washing someone's feet, which is this sign of servitude, right? Like this humility, the humility that Christ displayed, what Christ did to his disciples, washing their feet. And I know Jeremy put up a video. I'd go and encourage you to go and watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure it's pretty good. And probably gives a little bit more detail and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just looking at this and seeing different kinds of people, and that there's always someone, and there's like this communal aspect of having just a relationship with all different kinds of people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, I really don't get why people are so upset, because to me, when you look at the message of Jesus, it is that we take the gospel to everybody, that we act in a way that looks like Jesus to everybody. So I don't think that unsaved people will be one. All right, like let's just be real. People are going to watch this and maybe they have no concept of the Bible and what washing feet means, and they're just going to be weirded out, right? Like I think that's a huge, like, glaring problem with this, is like they're just going to be like, what is this, a Tarantino movie? Like, what's this obsession with feet? And they're not going to get it at all. Like, other than in a few of the instances where it's like very apparent that they're helping them and not just with washing their feet, like, with the police officer or the woman with the alcoholic. But a lot of people are just going to watch this. Any non-Christian who doesn't have that much experience with the Bible, they're going to look at this and just be like, that's so weird. I don't get it. What's with this washing of feet thing? But so for me, I look at it and go, I think the target audience is Christians, and the target audience, what the message that is trying to be communicated is be Jesus to people. And is that a horrible message? I don't think so. And all the other stuff about like, well, you're just accepting people where they're at. I mean, like, kind of. Like, that's kind of what Jesus did. All right. He doesn't accept, he doesn't approve of what people do, but he does take them where they're at. And I think that's what's being communicated here, is take people where they're at. And yes, you don't leave them there. And yes, you tell them, what you're involved with is sinful. But at the very beginning, it's love and compassion. And that's what Jesus did. And so I think what's being communicated to Christians, not well. All right. It's not well because, like, we're having this conversation. We're having to have people yell at each other over all these things. So obviously the message wasn't communicated in a really great way. But I think that's the message. Now, again, I think if you have a proclivity of just like, hey, the world is out to get us, and you're really, suspicious of everyone, as far as like media and Hollywood, and you're just like, oh, they're too close to Hollywood. What are they even doing in the Super Bowl? I think that, yeah, you're probably going to look at this and be like, all right, well, it's just another, liberal Christian message of just accept people and don't talk about things. I see Jer he's disagreeing a bit, and that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. I still love Jer. But he says, but ambiguity in a 1 minute $1 million commercial is a problem. I mean, maybe. I mean, is anyone going to be convinced of anything from this? Like that, like when I say like it's ambiguous, I'm saying like, I don't think that it's going to do anything. Like, I just think it's a big nothing burger. Like, it's just, you had an opportunity and you could have done something really cool. Even though I disagree with the methods, I think that it's a waste of money, but you wanted to spend the money and you could have communicated something great. And for me, you don't communicate really anything, because even Christians are super confused about what you're trying to communicate. And unsaved people, they're just not going to get it at all. So I don't know what the point of this was, but I'm looking at it and going like, I don't think anyone's going to be like, well, you know what? They convinced me. He gets us. They got me. And I'm going to go and be a more liberal Christian because of it. I don't think anyone's going to get that. If you're getting your like theology from commercials, I think there's probably a bigger problem first off. But I don't think that anyone's going to be like really super convinced about what they think about, sexual ethics, or what they think about Black Lives Matter stuff or social justice or any of that because of this 1 minute long commercial. I think that probably will happen a little bit more is the conviction of, I need to be more kind to people. And I don't think that is probably going to be the same as, being, just accepting and tolerant of people. But I do think like, that person that is different from me, that has sin in their life, I need to be Jesus to them. And I think that's a good message, even if it is buried in a way too artistic, weird commercial that is like it's really hard to even get, what is trying to be communicated. But for me, that's where I'm at. And Jesus didn't teach hate. That some people are getting mad about that one. They're getting mad because, after all, Jesus did teach hate. He taught us that, anyone who follows after me must hate his father and his mother, pick up his cross and follow me. Obviously, that's not what Jesus actually taught. Jesus doesn't teach hate. And those people that are saying that, they're just using a Bible verse to slap people. And just don't use Bible verses to slap people, folks. Understand that that verse is clearly articulating that your relationship with loved ones in your life, it should look like hate compared to the love that you have for Jesus. All right? You love Jesus, you follow after Jesus, you leave everything else behind. And he's not saying, hey, go, what's that? The phrase that Southerners, I don't know why I have slap in my mind now. Like the Southerners, they like to say like, oh, that sandwich is going to make you slap your mama. Like that's not what Jesus is actually teaching, okay? Jesus isn't actually teaching you should hate your parents. He's saying that the love that you have for me, for God, should make the love that you have for others look like hate. Follow after me. Don't just be all about now in your relationships now. Jesus should take priority, and following after him should take priority. So for those people who are like, Jesus actually did teach hate, not in that way, and you know it. He washed feet. Yes, he did. He did do that. Now, why that's such a like really meaningful thing that we have to put letters, give a little bit of text there in comparison to the rest of this trailer, or not trailer, on my mind, but this little commercial, I don't know, because it's not that powerful. But, whatever. Let's go and let's take a look at, they also had another one. All right. They had this one. They had this, Who is My Neighbor? All right. Let's give that one a watch after we find out about A&W's Pickle Burger. Or no, this is the chicken sandwich. All right. Let's see. Can we get the sound going? All right. Once again, I just go like this is millions of dollars. It's just pictures of people. And when you don't notice value, welcome Jesus. I like that at the end. Like, okay. So once again, I think it's a waste. But here, I don't think you're going to find anything that's like really, like, I don't know why people are angry. I think people are probably focused on the other one. But no. There's nothing to be mad about in this. Yes, you are supposed to welcome people. Now, I'm assuming that some people will get upset about that word welcome. But that's what Paul did. Like, actually, one of the last things that we know about Paul is that he's in a house prison, and it says that he preached the gospel and welcomed all who would come to him. So I'm assuming that there were sinners who would come to him too. So we are supposed to be welcoming. Does that mean that we affirm everyone's lifestyle? No. But again, I don't think that's being said here. I think that people are reading that into the ambiguous nature of these things, but also understand. All right. Christians, let's just go back to here. Christians get mad about everything. All right. You can say something and it can almost be exactly what the Bible says, but you say it to one group and they're going to love it. They're just going to be over the moon about it. It's the smartest thing they ever heard in their life, which, if it's pretty close to scripture, it probably is. But you say that to another room of Christians and they're just going to be ticked. They're going to get the pitchforks. You're like, how did you even get a pitchfork in here, bro? But they have it and they're lighting the torches and they're coming for you. Like, it's just the way Christians are. I don't understand it. I don't know if that's just the way culture is. I've been trying to figure it out for years now, but it just seems like Christians are just waiting to be upset about things. And I think that if you're in that room where you're often getting the pitchforks out about culture, you're going to look at these things and be like, ah. And if you're in the other room where probably I'm at, like you're just going to be like, whatever, I don't care, or I think that it's good, or whatever. At the end of the day, I think that it is, at least in one way, helpful because we're talking about it. Like I see Mike has a similar thought, I think. These commercials have provoked a lot of conversation in a positive direction amongst our church body. I got like 5 text messages yesterday that were all positive to it. All right, so good. So the target audience of Christians are at least talking about it and saying like, well, should we? Should we be like Jesus in this situation? Should we be washing feet? What does it mean to wash feet? Should we be accepting? Can we be welcoming without being affirming? Like, what's the difference between those two things? I think a lot of Christians are having that conversation. To me, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And I think that might be a helpful thing. Now, is it, worth millions of dollars? Maybe not. But I think that there's something to that. And I think that once again, Christians, there's just something going on right now. And maybe it's always been this way. I don't know. I'm not that old. I haven't been around long enough to really tell. But I do think that there's just something going on right now where Christians, we just love being upset. We love finding like the worst thing, or finding something and making it into the worst or the greatest thing. And we love those polar opposites of one another. And so when we see something, we have to either be outraged or sharing it. We got to be like really upset about it and thinking like this is just another tool of Satan to, win the culture war. Or, this is a helpful thing that God has given us and we need to be using it for the gospel, moving forward. And sometimes something could come out and just be kind of in the middle and we can be like, yeah, I don't really care for it. But Christians, we just don't do that very well. And when we have something that's being, brought to us, we kind of use the filters that are around us that we've learned maybe from our background, from our denomination, how we grew up. And we just use that to understand and like kind of read into things that are there, or maybe they are there, or like maybe we exaggerate them. I think that's a possibility. But for me, when I'm looking at stuff like this, I don't know why people are so mad about it. Like, I could get why you'd be like, I see some holes here, or some possibilities for people to put in their interpretations, but that's anything, guys. Like, I don't know if you knew this, but people like to read in their own thoughts into what you say. All right. Have you ever had that where you articulate something really clearly and then still people are coming at you later and saying, you said this. And it's like, that's not what I said at all. I think that's what he gets us is going on, like what's happening with them. It's like any pastor can relate to this, okay? You say something on Sunday And, it's fine after service, but on Wednesday night, there's that person that comes up to you and they're just like, hey, you know what? You said this and I did not appreciate it. And you're like, I never said that in my life. And then you listen to it back and you're like, yeah, that's not even close, but they read in something to that. And I think that's what's going on. So for me, I look at this and go, it's a big nothing burger. Christians, so much in the world that we could be upset about. There's like war and poverty and, all kinds of sexual abuse that's happening within the church. We've got unqualified leaders. We've got spiritual abuse that's happening. We got the whole IHOP Kansas City stuff going on still. But, we're going to be upset about the Super Bowl because it's more fun, I guess. It's more of a sport, I'm like, well, I guess a little bit of a pun there because it's Super Bowl. But it's like, it's just funner to be mad about stuff like this than actual things that matter and have an effect in real people's lives. But that's my thoughts. Did I share too much? I don't know. Let's bring up the chat again and we'll talk to some people. Let's go up a little bit. Tommy says, I think the problem is those with the solid biblical foundation haven't been showing this aspect of the character of God, but we get mad if someone else shows it with a vague gospel message. Tommy, you just always bring in that wisdom. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty accurate. Like, let me fix this here. Sorry. Why is this not working? Why? I want it to go further. If I go here, and is this going to move everything? Okay. All right. We're getting there. Just need to move a few things over. All right. That'll be good enough. It'll be good enough for now. So sorry, Tommy. But I agree. I think that there are people who aren't doing this well. Like a lot of people in my camp, guys, the majority of the things that we talk about on this show are people within my theological camp. All right. Reformed, Calvinistic. All right. People who I should have a lot of agreement with, but they keep on being crazy. All right. So they should be, not that I'm not trying to say like I'm the example, but like they should be like me in how I interact with the world, and they're not. So that's why we talk about them a lot of times in some of the crazy stuff that they say, even though theologically I probably have more in common on paper with them than even some of you guys who watch this thing. All right. But they aren't doing the other stuff. And I think that Tommy gets that. With a solid biblical foundation, they haven't been showing that aspect of character of God. They haven't been loving people. They haven't been compassionate. There are people who are like fighting, like the word compassionate. Like even Joe Rigney with his war against empathy. What do you think that is? It's a war against compassion. It's a war against actually being a decent, kind person like Jesus was to people. That's really what that's about. Yeah. Let's see. Jeremy says, yeah, but we already talked about that one. Some talk about Jay Adams. Oh no, that's never good. Evan says it's the $7 million equivalent of leaving a tract on the gas pump. That's 100% true. Like all these people who like leave a tip and it's usually like just 10%. And then they leave like one of those, like it looks like it's a $10 bill, but it's a tract. Like that's basically what they just did to all of North America. Jeremy says it more that now the reaction to the ambiguity that they knew would happen is happening. Oh, like they planned it. Like he gets us, wanted it to be ambiguous to get that. I mean, maybe. I don't know if they're that, creative, but yeah, that's giving them a lot of credit. Slap your grandma. We are having, don't go, Jer. I know you're probably clipping that out. Dean says, slap your grandma a lot. Angel says, it looks like mainly work salvationists are getting mad. Kind of. Jeremy says, I think if this was in a vacuum, then you are correct. But in our current culture today, I think that this gets misunderstood by Christians and non-Christians. I mean, what's the what's the culture that demands it? I think I'm going to disagree with you on this one. For me, I think that, it's still about what is shown. And again, like, if it was more overt, like, I might agree with you. If it was just like that one particular image of the roller skater, which we all know what that means. I just love that. That's like how everyone interprets that. Is like, well, he's obviously this way because he's a roller skater. But if it was more overt, then maybe I'd agree with you, or if that was like the only image. But there was so much there that I'm just like, it's different people. And to me, it's like that initial moment of just being there in their moment of need. And so I think it's a fine message. I just think it's like it was not communicated well. Let's see. Mike says, we already dealt with that. Wendy says, why can't the ads just stick to pizza, beers, cars, hotels, or airlines? Well, I'm sure that there were a ton of those. I'm going to be watching them later. Heidi says, I wonder if the very conversation that this advertisement raises, these questions prove it had an effect. How we are discussing things like, did Jesus wash Judas's feet? Yes, I completely agree. I think that's a really good point. And I think that's kind of what was being at least targeted. And honestly, I don't know if they're that creative to be like, this will serve the rage machine. But I think that's probably a general thing that they were wanting, just to have that conversation. Maybe they didn't know it was going to be so intense because there are lots of people who are mad about it. Shelley says, I'm old. Right there with you. It's been like this in the Christian world for decades. Someone is always mad about something. Technology has made it more visible. Well, there you have it. I would probably agree, but I do understand I'm a young pup, as Wendy often tells me. Let's see. Jeremy says, agree. But when you use images that already divide our country, ambiguity doesn't really help. But isn't that kind of like the whole point, is to like unite? You kind of have to show that, right? Observant Lee, why do you think their theology can be one way but seemingly has no effect on their public ministry and behavior? To like the people in my camp. Yeah, we talked about that a lot, Lee. But I think that's a huge conversation. So maybe ask me in a chill stream or something like that, and we'll get more into detail about it. Steven says, I agree the ambiguity is its weakness, but the message I get is that it's trying to say that not all Christians are shouty jerks. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. All right, guys. I'm going to do you a favor. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Let me just make sure. Okay. Kids alive. Let's have a little bit of fun, okay? We've been talking about some things. Some things are hard, and it's time to slow things down a little bit. Maybe get a little romantic, you know what I mean? It's Valentine's Day, y'all. It's coming up here, and I thought I would do y'all a big favor and just help you out and maybe give you some ideas. Some of you guys are like looking around at Valentine's Day cards and you're just not sure which one to pick up. Like which one? Which one should I get? Which one like says what my heart is feeling, Well, today we're going to look at some, Valentine's Day cards, and maybe you'll get some inspiration. So let's head over here. And we've got some Valentine's cards from some familiar faces. All right, we're going to have a little bit of fun with this. This is what we're doing. We're just going to kind of tease some people. Okay, you ready? I don't know. I'm not good with making up like the entry part for bits. I'm just saying. I didn't go to it. All right. I went and saw Argyle and they gave me this cup. Stop judging me, okay? All right. Let's get going. We've got, first up, we've got Johnny Mac. And he has a Valentine's Day card. And he's saying soulmate. Ooh. Again, I'm going to assume that this is only to their wives. All right. I don't want anyone getting mad at me about how you're saying like these people are trying to go at people. No, I'm talking about these are their Valentine's Day cards for their significant others. Okay. My love for you is a strange fire. Oh, Johnny. Johnny's getting real romantic, y'all. Let's see. Who do we got next? Oh, we got Dougie. We got Dougie, and he's all about that passion. We know that. Let's see. What did he put in his Valentine's Day card for his wife, Nancy? I love you more than Joe Rigney loves me, which is a lot, like a whole lot. Oh, so romantic. These guys, they never disappoint. They're just always, they just know what to say, you know? Next up. Oh, this is a new one. We got Eric Vols. He's the representative for IHOP Kansas City. Let's see what he gave his significant other. Just like IHOP Kansas City, you got me spinning, girl. Oh, snap. I'm having way too much fun. I don't even know if you guys think this is good or not, but for me, it's a blast. All right. Some of you guys might not even know this guy. This is Josh Butler. You guys remember him? You guys remember him from last year? A little book that was written. So he says, be true. All right, to his wife. And let's see what else he put in there. My love for you is like a supple nub moistened by the redacted. We can't show that. We can't all right, we can't show that. We can't show that one. That's a little too much. We're a family friendly show. Josh Butler, what is going on with you, bro? All right, do you have to put things as like, sensual as possible? Like, come on, man. All right, moving on. We got Justin Peters, not Jordan Peterson. Justin Peters, right? Okay. So amazing. Oh, you're amazing. What else did he say? When you consider the size and scope of my love, it's unmatched. It's a deep cut. Oh, we got Alan Parr. YouTube sensation. Leading the way for Christian YouTubers all over the place. Let's see what he put in there for his wife. Baby, you make me want to make yet another video about tongues. What? No. We're moving on. It's too much. All right. These are all jokes. They didn't actually write these things. This is just something that I'm doing because it's fun for me. Oh, we got Mark Driscoll. He says always. Oh, it's a good way to start. Let's see. What else did he say? I may have left an entire city of Christians heartbroken, but you... never. Oh, Marky Mark. That's so cute. All right, let's see who else. Oh, we got Ken Ham. And he writes, only you. And maybe evolution is true because, baby, you keep getting better with age. Oh, man. He's shifting gears. He's shifting gears a little bit. Oh, we haven't seen him in a while. Dale Partridge. Okay. What did Dale put for his wife? He says, be mine. That's cute. What else? I may have faked my education, but my unending love for you is very true. Very true. All right. Well, I had to do it. Oh, we got Eric Kahn. What a manly man. Look at him there. He almost blends right in. All right. What did he put? Be true. Doug Wilson may have my heart, but you have my soul. Oh, so romantic. These guys, I hope you're getting some inspiration. All right. I hope that you're just like taking some notes and being like, oh, okay, I need to step up my game this Valentine's. We got Ginger Vuolo. She says, you and me. She's talking to her husband. I know it's a woman. It's crazy. We're talking about what a woman said. I'd never disentangle my love for you. Oh, that's cute. It's a, it's a little on the nose, but all right. Okay. We got Copeland. XOXO. I'm not sure where I'm not sure if I like this one. All right. My love for you is crazier than my eyes. Oh, his love is crazy. It's like Francis Chan up in her. All right. There's no sound. In my head, it's so awkward, but I don't care. It's fun for me. So it's just like it's exactly what like those Ken Ham bits are. Where it's just like no one's laughing and no one's here. I don't get any reaction from you guys other than the chat, and it's always behind. So I kind of love it. All right, this is Cameron Bertuzzi. Maybe you don't know him, but he used to be an evangelical, and he says, "I'm yours." All right, I'm yours. I'd swim the Tiber to be with you. You get it? All right, moving on. We got Joel Webb in. Jolie. What do you got for us, Jolie? He says, my love, today is a special day. You may have 2 extra bathroom privileges. Because the video, you guys watch that video? You guys remember that? All right. Oh, the SBC gave one. Like, I don't know who it's to. Like, I guess just everybody in the SBC. And he says, the SBC, it's not a he. It's definitely not she's, right? I guess we should make sure that's clear because they got kicked out. But the SBC says, ooh, faithful. It's a good way to start. All right, let's see. We may cover up abuse, but we never cover up our love for you, girl. Oh! It's so dumb, but I love it. All right. What's this guy's name again? Brian Sauvé. I should have had little name tags because I forget sometimes. He's saying, my lady. Ooh, my lady. Today, don't call me my lord. Instead, call me sir. Oh, how romantic, Brian. Oh, man. You know, some of these guys, they like talk a big game and then you just behind closed doors, they're just teddy bears. He's so romantic. All right, next up. Oh, Alistair Begg. All right, we got a little bit of trouble. He says forever. Oh, I'd come to your wedding any day. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but you know, I wrote it and I put it in here, so it's part of it. This one. Oh, we got a little focus on the family. And he writes, baby. He's like, whoa, that's pretty intense way to start. Remember when you smiled at me? Well, here I am. You get that one? Because like there was that lady who smiled him at an intersection, and he said he knew that was just, you're supposed to come follow me, and just one smile, no conversation, just a smile from a woman at an intersection meant that she was trying to tempt him to have an affair. And that, what? All right, let's go to the penalty box.
You want to see a penalty? I'll show you a real penalty. Get out of my face, man.
Some of you guys are going to be like, I don't get this guy. What is wrong with him? I don't know. What is wrong with my overlay? It's not right, but here we are. All right. I got a few people who are saying it's funny. All right. I never know. I have like the driest humor in the world, so I never know if something's actually going to be funny or not. But to me, it's hilarious, and that's worth it. All right, let's go.
2-minute minor trip, and there's a call.
All right, so this is from Carlos Vences. He rightly responding to right response's odd response to the, I don't know, something. But this is the video that me and my wife did when we were giggling on the couch watching Joel Webb talk about how he's building something. He's building something there in Texas and in Georgetown, and it's a strategic place. And we didn't want to go to Timbuktu because, not enough people. And we didn't want to go to New York because the gospel's not powerful enough for New York, but it's powerful enough for here. And we just kind of giggled about him sitting in his like weird Lex Luthor chair. So this is what he put. This reaction video came off as childish and immature. A shame you decided to involve your wife in this behavior. This is what promotes disunity in the body. So it was fine for me. It's one thing for me to be childish and immature. But to involve my wife in it, that's just too low. It's too low. Childish, maybe. Immature. Oh, sure. But you know what? I have a good time at least. So at least there's that. Let's go to the next one.
There's the whistle. There's no excuse there. He knows that whistle's been blown.
So this is from last episode. When to write off a Bible teacher like Alistair Begg. Raymond Feliciano. He decided to leave this comment. Dean is yet another. I think he accuses people a lot of this. Dean is yet another internet clown, spewing his opinions on the holy books and treading on holy ground with his dirty boots on. One, it's winter in Midwest Canada. Yes, my boots are dirty. Everyone's boots are dirty. We're in mud season. All right, things are beginning to thaw, but there's still snow. There's lots of dirty boots, first off. If there was any holy ground in all of Saskatchewan, everyone would be stepping on it with their dirty boots. But also, this is the internet. And I'm talking about people. I'm not taking God's word and shoving it down in any way. So spewing, is that a word that you say often? I don't know if I've ever said that, like in a conversation, maybe like reading something, but spewing his opinions on the holy books. I guess I spit a lot when I talk. I don't know. But my Bible is right there. Like it's a long ways for, okay. And treading on holy ground. So I guess wherever, Doug Wilson and people like that are, that's holy ground. But I'm just another internet clown. So what do I know? Next up, you have some music in some of these bits. Oh man, Mars Hill elder responds to Mark Driscoll's accusations. Here we go. I don't know why I always do the movie trailer voice when it happens. It's not a good one either. Connor Murphy said, "Wow!" 3 exclamation points. That's a man after my own heart. I leave so many exclamation points. So I'm thankful to see someone else doing it. I can't believe I allowed myself to enter into a 2 minute of gossip on church pastors. What do you think it was? Well, first off, it's not gossip because we're talking about public things. The public things that I believe actually has an impact in people who would listen to this person. So it's a warning. It's not gossip. But also, look at the thumbnail. If you think everything that's about pastors is gossip, then why did you click on it? Who are we to judge any of these people? I don't know. Maybe I've been in ministry for a decade. Maybe I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a master's of divinity degree. So I don't know. Maybe I could talk about some of this stuff. No. Certainly not. What do I got to have? You guys want me to go get a doctorate so I can talk about this stuff? Or do I have to have a published book with Crossway in order to talk about this stuff? I mean, I'll do it if that's what it takes. All right. When did God hand us his gavel? Does God have a gavel? Do we see that anywhere in scripture? I don't think he has a gavel. Stay true to the faith. Okay. Spit out the bones and chew up the meat and quit talking about everyone's possible wrongs in life when we all sin daily. And after all, we're all sinners. That's true. That is true. But some of us aren't as big as sinners as others, first off. And some of our sins don't affect as many people as other people's sins. That's why we have laws. So this is it's the same kind of reasoning. It's you got laws. We have biblical commands about who should be qualified. So shouldn't we be at least vocal about who we believe isn't qualified, but still gets to have reach to thousands and thousands of Christians? and non-Christians too, and like represent Jesus to them, even though they're not qualified to do it, even though they've hurt thousands of people, and even though they've never actually repented for that, they've never publicly apologized for that. They've only blamed the leaders of that former church for hurting that many people. Like, no? Okay. We're all walking around with logs in our eyes, pointing out logs in others' eyes. And all we're doing is knocking each other in the head by doing so. Oh, he got creative with that one. Like, because you got the logs and you're just bumping into each other. I get it. Worry about your own relationship with Christ and just pray for others. That's right. Shut up. Don't talk about people who are unqualified. Don't talk about abuse. Don't talk about any of this stuff. Just keep your mouth shut. Focus on your own good stuff and let Jesus handle it, right? Like Jesus got it. All right, he's gonna deal with all these things, and he doesn't need us. All right, this is basically what David Brainerd was told by his missionary agency. When God chooses to save the heathen, he will do it without your help or mine. It's ludicrous. God uses us. So yes, you could use your voice to talk about wrongs in the church. You could use your voice to talk about pastors who are not qualified. And yeah, don't be a gossip about it. But also, speak up. I think the whole world will be a lot better, especially the Christian world will be a lot better when Christians actually speak up about these things, especially when it comes to these people who have so much influence online and are just growing and growing in popularity online. We are in a new age. We're in a new age where all these people are untouchable. Like, we're getting to the place where there's going to be no avenue for accountability for people like Mark Driscoll. All right. One, he already owns the church that his church meets in. Everyone who's like on staff there, he just hired his kid as their new youth pastor. Like, and everyone else, like his daughter works there, his son-in-law works there. It's a family-run church with the dad owning the building for the church. Where's the accountability? Where's the accountability going to come for that? And then you talk about it, okay, outside of that specific location, now he's coming online and saying like all the worst things in the world and just shoving it down the internet's throat. And we're not allowed to say, hey, I don't agree with that. Or, hey, when he said this from the stage and then put it online for the rest of the world, he was totally mischaracterizing all these leaders who were trying to do the right thing and honor God with how they were trying to hold him accountable. And he just lied to his congregation. But what do I know? I'm an internet clown spewing my opinions on the holy books. This is where we're at. This is what's happening now. This is where we're at. All right. Let's see everyone get cringed out with my funny, or at least what I thought was funny, Valentine's Day things. We got calm down there, Brian. Hi, friends. Better late than never. It's one way to come into the show and see that. Rico Sauve. Shelly says, I'm dying here. This is the best birthday present ever. It's your birthday? It's your birthday? What do I got? I could do this. Yes! I need to get a happy birthday thing. But happy birthday. Heidi says, you're James Dobson one. That's the clown. I love it. Star 123. There's a beautiful song by Flora Cash titled Soulmate. Ooh. And she did not like the Butler one. Heidi says, disunity in whose body? Sounds like there was unity for you and Heather. Yeah, I guess. Johnny says, imagine thinking anything around Doug Wilson is holy ground. Well, everywhere he walks is holy ground. The guy's a prophet. I'm sure that some people actually think that. They just probably won't go on a video and actually say that. Like, as far as like the prophet thing, they wouldn't be that silly about the ground. But I think there's something there. RJ says, I'm late. What is up? Not a whole lot. Let's see. Carol says, I'm glad doesn't hit me with a frying pan. What? Caveat says, don't talk about people talking about others or what I'm talking about, right? Joseph, what's up, man? And Carol says, you should be a comedian, Dean. I'm going to save this. How can I save this? And make this my profile picture. And no, I shouldn't do that. Joseph says, been a while since I've made a live, but glad to be back. Well, that's great, Joseph. We're done now. It's over. That's all I got for you. I got to go pick up my kids from school. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for having a conversation about this He Gets Us stuff. And I hope that it was helpful in some way. Maybe just even to calm things down a little bit of people being so upset about things. Let's be upset about the big things. Let's get real ticked off, with everything going on with the SBC right now. Let's get ticked off that big leaders like Al Mohler and even President Bart, he hasn't been talking a lot about all the stuff that's been going on there. Like, let's be mad about that. Let's be mad about the things that actually matter, that we should be mad about, and not necessarily about, people washing some people's feet and reading a bunch of stuff into it. All right, let's just chill out a little bit. All right, that's the main theme of my channel, is just let's chill out a little bit. I will just say, as we end things today, 52 people watching, 38 likes. Come on. You got to do it. You got to bump up. You got to bump up this number right here. You got to bump it up just a little bit, please. Okay, it really does help for the channel, by the way. All right, that's it. That's all I got for you. I need to come up with an outro. At some point, someday, I will not end a stream in a super awkward way, but that day is not today.